What's in a name? Well, in Barrymore, there's a lot.
Welcome to MsMojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 20 celebs you didn't know had famous parents.
I didn't realize she was a big sex icon until I got to middle school.
For this list, we're looking at the most notable performers who have followed in their family's footsteps, stepping into the limelight. Which of these parent-child connections surprised you the most? Let us know in the comments. Number 20. Emma Roberts.
I can't drive and I can't vote. I can't even pierce my nose. So what does it mean to be 13? I can go to the movies and see PG-13. Can't see them when you're 12.
While the last name Roberts might have people thinking Emma's mother is Julia Roberts, that is not the case. Although, one look at the duo, and there really is no denying the fact that the two women are indeed related. To get to their link, though, we have to explore the fact that the unfabulous star has some pretty fabulous Hollywood genes thanks to her father, actor Eric Roberts. Working since the 1970s, he's built up quite an impressive resume, with nearly 700 credits to his name.
Hey, convict. Convict!
You got a name, cop?
Jack Gates.
He's also the older brother to the aforementioned and totally fabulous pretty woman herself, Julia Roberts. Number 19. Eve Hewson. Eve Hewson played Tom Hanks' daughter in the 2015 film Bridge of Spies, but her real-life father might be even more famous.
Who is this knothead?
I'd rather not say.
Indeed, she is Paul David Hewson's child. That's pretty impressive, right? Oh, wait, did we forget to mention that Paul David Hewson is best known by his stage name Bono? That's right, the woman who played Adele in the Netflix miniseries Behind Her Eyes is Bono's offspring. She's also reportedly one of the catalysts for the U2 song Kite, which he co-wrote after a kite-flying adventure with some of his kids ended poorly. Number 18. Maya Rudolph.
Hello, everybody. It's your old pal here, Donna Celebs.
Primarily known for her brilliance as a comedic actor and performer, Maya Rudolph has some rather impressive musical abilities as well. And it probably shouldn't surprise us because she has some rather impressive musical parents. Her dad, Richard Rudolph, is a musician, producer, and songwriter, probably best known for Lovin' You. A #1 hit, he co-wrote it with Maya's mother, the late Minnie Riperton. She was a singer with an absolutely beautiful voice, famous for her amazing ability to hit the highest notes humanly possible, employing the whistle register. Number 17. Zoe Kravitz. With the last name Kravitz, it won't shock anyone to hear that Zoe's dad is music superstar Lenny Kravitz. But for those who might not remember, his ex-wife and Zoe's mother is none other than actress Lisa Bonet.
We were very young, and it was wonderful. And we had Zoe, which is, I see now, what it was all about. It was really all about bringing this beautiful child to the planet. And also sharing the love that we had.
And their familial relation isn't the only thing the two women have in common. In 2020, Zoe starred in the Hulu series High Fidelity, based on the novel and the film from 2000. A film that's right, Lisa Bonet appeared in. Kravitz has also embraced her musical side, forming the band Lola Wolf in 2013 and releasing an album called Calm Down the following year. Number 16. Jamie Lee Curtis. Jamie Lee Curtis, who blew us away in the horror classic Halloween and its subsequent movies, has more than earned her Scream Queen credentials.
Help me, please!
But she doesn't even have the most famous movie scream in her family. That honor goes to her mother, the late Janet Leigh, whose shower scream in Psycho is one of the most iconic scenes in the history of cinema. And it turns out Jamie Lee's late father is also insanely famous. He is none other than Tony Curtis. Maybe you remember his role opposite Jack Lemmon and Marilyn Monroe in the all-time great romantic comedy Some Like It Hot? Number 15. Jack Quaid.
Must be a special guy.
No, I'm not.
I just feel lucky to be here.
Actor Jack Quaid has been one of the boys since 2019, and he's been Meg Ryan and Dennis Quaid's boy since his birth on April 24, 1992. Jack first appeared on our screens in 2012's The Hunger Games, and has been growing his IMDb page ever since. Still, it's gonna take a while for him to build up a list of credits that matches both his parents. From The Right Stuff to When Harry Met Sally, both Dennis and Meg have earned critical and box office praise for their work, particularly back in the 80s and 90s. Number 14. Lily Collins. Lily Collins got everyone's attention in 2009 when she played Sandra Bullock's kid in The Blind Side.
How'd the dork do in the school play? Okay.
But this talented actress probably wasn't blindsided by what came with the fame and success, since she's the daughter of renowned musician Phil Collins. When Phil was with his second wife Jill Tavelman, they had Lily. And while Lily has continued to find success as an actress, her life hasn't always been another day in paradise, or Paris. But she powerfully dives into how she's faced things like an eating disorder in her 2017 book, Unfiltered. No shame, no regrets, just me. Number 13. Maya Hawke.
Robin, what are you doing?
I cracked it.
Cracked what?
I cracked the code.
If you've watched Stranger Things and found yourself thinking that Robin Buckley looks a lot like Uma Thurman, there's a good reason for that. She's played by her daughter. Maya Hawke was born in July of 1998, just 2 months after her parents, Thurman and Ethan Hawke, tied the knot. This was about 4 years after her mother first worked with the great Quentin Tarantino in a little movie called Pulp Fiction. And while Maya's career is just getting started, she already has something in common with her mother in that she too has worked with Tarantino. Hawke played the flower child in 2019's Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Oh, right. Thank you.
Number 12. Billie Lourd. Getting to act in the Star Wars movies would be a big deal for almost any actor. And for Billie Lourd, getting to play Lieutenant Connix no doubt had an even more special and personal appeal. You see, Lourd is related to Star Wars royalty, being that she is the daughter of Princess Leia herself, the inimitable late Carrie Fisher.
Was that a big deal when you were growing up at Princess Leia and you knew your mom was in Star Wars?
I mean, honestly, growing up, I wasn't really that into it. My mom tried to play it for me, and I sat down and she put it on. And honestly, my first reaction was, this is too loud.
And no, her father isn't Harrison Ford, but rather a creative artists agency co-chairman, talent agent Brian Lourd. While some of you may have known that already, there are many who wouldn't have guessed the identity of Lourd's parents in a million light years.
So your house, I would imagine, well, I know like...
Very normal, what do you mean?
Yeah. Well, was it, were you aware that it wasn't normal?
No, it's just like any other kid. I just thought my parents were weird as hell and irritating and embarrassing, like anyone does.
Number 11. Drew Barrymore. There have been a number of famous acting families, from the Baldwins to the Bridges, but the Barrymore family name makes up a huge part of Hollywood's history. A very young Drew Barrymore screamed her way into our hearts in E.T., but she was just the most recent in a long line of stars. You can trace it back to her great-grandfather, the stage actor Maurice Barrymore, and his kids, Lionel, Ethel, and John.
You're from an incredible family. Your father was a great actor, your aunt, your uncle, and of course your granddad, who had a good old Aussie mate, Errol Flynn.
The latter's child's own son, fellow performer John Drew Barrymore, is Drew's father. Drew has been acting for over 40 years, but her family has been doing it for over 100. Number 10. Jessica Capshaw. Most of you probably know Jessica from her role as Arizona Robbins, the head of pediatric surgery on the long-running ABC show Grey's Anatomy.
Hey, oh, blood bank. All right, you need to come with me and bring all that stuff.
She first appeared on the show in 2009 and was there for 9 years.
Arizona Robbins. I'm taking over Dr. Kenley's patients.
You're the peds surgeon.
What you may not know about Jessica Capshaw is that her mom is actress Kate Capshaw, best known for playing nightclub singer Willie Scott in Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom.
Anything goes.
Jessica has also been playing the role of stepdaughter to Steven Spielberg since he married her mom in 1991. Number 9. O'Shea Jackson Jr. Given that his name is O'Shea Jackson Jr., his dad is obviously O'Shea Jackson. However, if that name doesn't sound familiar, that may be because you probably know the senior Jackson by his stage name, Ice Cube. In 2012, under the stage name OMG, O'Shea released a rap mixtape, but is much more familiar to the public as an actor. Jr. has appeared in such films as Long Shot and Godzilla, King of the Monsters.
What do those nerds think they're gonna do down there with a bunch of nukes?
You ain't hear him, Griffin? They want to bring Godzilla back from the dead.
But his most talked about performance was his film debut, where he played his dad in the movie Straight Outta Compton.
Should have kept your word, Brian.
Jesus Christ, man!
Number 8. Lenny Kravitz.
I want you to look straight ahead as if the audience in this whole event are beneath you.
That should be easy.
Press this when you're ready.
For those of you who only know Lenny Kravitz as an actor in the Hunger Games movies, you are missing out on one of the greatest musicians of the 1990s and 2000s. In fact, for 4 years straight from 1999 to 2002, Kravitz won the Grammy for Best Male Rock Vocal Performance. His dad, Cy Kravitz, produced TV news at NBC, and his mom was actress Roxy Roker. In 1974, when Lenny was 10 years old, the family moved on up to LA, where Roxy scored the role of Helen Willis on The Jeffersons. Roker played one half of the first Caucasian African-American married couple on primetime TV.
You see, honey, we can't stop crazy thoughts from popping into our heads. Nobody can. What matters is not what passes across our minds. It's how we live our lives together. Baby, we've been doing that pretty good.
Damn good.
Number 7. Chris Pine. Chris is a huge Hollywood star whose name on the marquee is enough to bring an audience to any movie.
That's okay.
That's okay?
Yeah, don't worry about it. Did he say don't worry about it?
You may not know Chris's father by his name, but there's a very good chance you've seen him on television at least once or twice.
You recognize her, Bruce?
Yes, her name's Lindsay. She drew pictures for me today, Sarge.
This is Lindsay's mom, Mrs. Vane.
In fact, his dad, Robert Pine, has appeared in over 400 episodes of television over the course of his almost 50 years in the business. His many roles are too numerous to name, but he's best known for his role as Sergeant Joseph Gutierrez on the show Chips. He also guest starred on an episode of Charlie's Angels.
Hello.
Hello, Dr. Canlon.
I see you two have already met, huh?
Number 6. Miles Robbins.
Who's this guy? Who are you?
Dad, this is my date.
Robbins' star is on the rise in Hollywood. In just the last few years, he's had roles in the movies Blockers, Halloween, and on the 11th season of The X-Files, where he played Scully and Mulder's teenage son.
If I didn't exist,
It's not your
maybe no one else
fault,
would
William.
have. Yes, it is.
Then let me help you stop it.
You can't. All right, because you died too.
Robbins was born in 1992 and got his first taste of life on a movie set only a few years later. In 1995, he played the role of Boy in Church in the thought-provoking film Dead Man Walking. While we don't know specifics about the audition process, we're going to assume there was some nepotism involved there. You see, his mom, Susan Sarandon, was the lead actress in the film.
How tall is he?
I don't know. I think he's kind of big. What size is kind of big? Does it run like big, medium, and petite?
And his dad, Tim Robbins, wrote and directed it. Number 5. Riley Keough. Riley made her feature film debut in 2010 in the film The Runaways.
Well, if it isn't Mary, Mother of God. What, no disciples? No cameras?
But her big break came in 2016 when she starred in the first season of The Girlfriend Experience. The Hollywood Foreign Press Association couldn't help falling in love with her performance on the show and honored her with a Golden Globe nomination.
Okay, I'll call you on Saturday and I'll explain everything. I'm in a hurry.
At this point, those of you with suspicious minds are probably very curious about who her famous parents are.
Hell if I know.
Well, we won't be cruel, we'll tell you. But you might be all shook up to know that her mom is Lisa Marie Presley. No, her dad isn't Lisa Marie's ex-husband, the King of Pop, but her grandfather is the King of Rock and Roll, Elvis. Number 4. Rashida Jones. Jones starred in one of the best comedies of the 2000s, I Love You Man.
You play an instrument?
Yeah. Can't believe I've never told you I play bass.
Really?
Oh, yeah. I slapped the bass big time.
What is that? You sound like a leprechaun.
No,
What is
that's a
that?
reggae guy. I just did reggae.
Doesn't sound...
Doesn't sound reggae?
No.
Slap the bass.
She played the title character in the funny TNT series Angie Tribeca, And she starred with Andy Samberg in a great little independent film called Celeste and Jesse Forever.
Oh. Shit. Okay, well, I didn't know about that, but that's not important right now. Okay.
But let's face it, for most of us, she will either always be Karen from The Office or Anne from Parks and Recreation.
Kiss one water fountain drinker, you're kissing everyone in Pawnee. Including him.
Unless, of course, you're multi-Grammy award-winning composer, songwriter, and producer Quincy Jones. Or you're the Mod Squad actress Peggy Lipton. In that case, Rashida will always be, first and foremost, daughter. Number 3. John David Washington. There are a couple of things that might surprise you about John. And the fact that his father is Denzel Washington is just one of them.
King Kong ain't got shit on me!
When he was 7, John had a small part in the film Malcolm X.
Malcolm X is you, all of you. And you are Malcolm X.
I'm Malcolm X! I'm Malcolm X!
However, for the next 15 years, acting took a backseat to football. John was a running back at Morehouse College, was on the St. Louis Rams practice squad, and played professionally in Europe and in the United Football League until 2012. He got back into acting a few years later and has been running strong ever since, picking up a Golden Globe nomination for his performance in BlacKkKlansman.
You are just the kind of guy that we are looking for. Listen, when can you meet?
How about Friday night after I get off work?
That's the deal, buddy boy. We'll get right back to you with the details. Take care now.
God bless white America.
He also starred in one of the biggest films of 2020, Tenet.
Well, I've seen too much. I'm still alive, which must mean you've decided to trust me. Or maybe I lost my edge.
Number 2, Mariska Hargitay.
Our dead guy, Victor Spicer, his license was suspended when he got 11 months for assault.
For over 2 decades, Mariska Hargitay has been a staple of our weekly television viewing. Her role as Detective Olivia Benson on Law & Order SVU has earned her plenty of awards and made her a household name.
You are a class act, Olivia Benson. Long may you run.
And yet, because Hargitay was her also famous father Mickey's family name, so many people are unaware that her mother was Jane Mansfield. Mansfield was an actress and an iconic blonde bombshell of the 1950s and 60s who lost her life in a tragic car accident. A 3.5-year-old Hargitay was asleep in the back and has a zigzag scar on the side of her head from the accident. Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. Dakota Johnson. Dakota whipped her name onto the tip of all of our tongues with her starring role as Anastasia Steele in the 50 Shades of Grey film series.
It's just beyond this door.
What is?
My playroom.
Like your Xbox and stuff?
Her performance earned her a Rising Star Award from the British Academy of Film and Television Arts. As her career continues, she can definitely look to her parents for help navigating stardom.
Heaven knows I'm no box of candy. But all things considered, I think we might have to consider some sort of temporary working relationship.
Her dad, Don Johnson, became a huge star in the 80s with his role on Miami Vice. And her mom, Melanie Griffith, was a big movie star, getting an Oscar nomination for her performance in the film Working Girl.
I mean, you can bend the rules plenty once you get upstairs, but not while you're trying to get there. And if you're someone like me, you can't get there without bending the rules.
The talent in the family goes even further, to Griffith's mother, Tippi Hedren, who impressed everyone with her work in Alfred Hitchcock's The Birds. Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from MsMojo. And be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.